Okay, Niera, so we're about to start. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and these questions are going to be about decimals. And as you think about what I ask, just like I explained, I want you to try to say all of your thoughts aloud. So everything that you're thinking, I want you to try to explain to me, because I'm interested in knowing what you're thinking about and how you arrive at your answer. Okay? Okay, so let's start with looking at those signs there. Okay, we have the less than sign and the greater than sign and the equal to sign. You're familiar with all of those? Okay, beautiful. So using those signs, I'm going to give you these questions right here, okay? And start with that first set. I want you to tell me if the greater than sign goes there, the less than sign, or the equal to sign. And you can use the marker for me.
Could I skip around?
You can skip around, but I'll ask you questions as you answer each one. I may not. So go ahead and do one. Okay, perfect. Tell me, why did you want to start with that one?
Because they're equal and it's one of the easiest ones.
They're equal. It was one of the easiest ones. Okay. And how do you know that they're equal?
Because 7 and, because the dot means and, so 7 and 4 tenths, that's basically 40, and 7 and 40 hundredths is the same as 7 and 4 tenths.
Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. Can you do another one for me?
Are these, is there supposed to be a line there?
Gotcha. That's a good question. So these are different than these. And these you're comparing 2 at a time. Okay? And with this, I want you to compare 3 at a time. So you would order them least to greatest if you want to do that one next.
Okay.
Okay, so what does that say?
The sign, or?
The whole thing, if you were to read that.
2 and 37 is less than 2 and 126 millions.
Gotcha. Read it one more time for me.
2 and 37 is less than 2 and 126 millions.
Gotcha. And why did you decide to put your sign that way?
Because if I put it that way, it wouldn't be true.
And why wouldn't it be true? How do you know?
Because 37 hundredths is less than 126 millions. Oh wait, that's thousands, right? 2 and 126 thousandths.
Which one is less than?
2 and 37 hundredths.
It's less than. Gotcha. And tell me, how do you know it's less than?
Because since there's both 2 and 2, you look at tens, hundreds, thousands, millions, and this is the 2 and 37 hundreds is less than thousands and millions, so 2 and 37 is less than 2 and 126 thousandths.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you do another one for me? Okay, and how did you know to make your sign that way?
Because this is in the tens and this is in the hundreds.
And what does that mean?
Or the hundredths. The hundredth is greater than 5 tenths.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you do another one for me? Okay. And what does that mean?
That means 0 and 6 tenths is greater than 0 and 73 hundredths.
And how did you know that?
73 is greater than 6, and it depends on which place it's in, and 73 is in the hundreds.
Gotcha.
Or the 3, yeah.
Okay, so you said 73 is bigger than 6, right? And then you also told me it was dependent upon the place. And you said hundredths is bigger than tenths, right? Okay, just want to make sure I heard you right. Okay, go ahead and do another one for me. Okay, do another one. Okay.
Could I do the rest of them?
Yeah, sometimes I'll stop and ask you questions. I'll let you know if I have questions. Stop there. How'd you know? Tell me about that one.
Because 8 and 67 is different. 76 is greater than 8, but yeah.
76 is greater than 8. Okay, good. Go ahead and do the next one for me. Next one that you want to do. Okay, and why did you make it look like that?
Because 4 and 8 tenths is less than 4 and 63 hundredths, and 63 is greater than 8, and because 8 is just not bigger than 63.
Gotcha. Okay, and then this last group right here, so there are 3 numbers, right? If you can order them from least to greatest, smallest to largest for me.
That's in the hundreds, the tenths, and the thousands. How do I just rewrite them?
You can rewrite them. You can go ahead and do it underneath, or if you want, you can write it above and just write nice and big for me. Okay, and read the numbers that you've written for me.
3 and 8 tenths, 3 and 9 hundredths, and 3 and 214 thousandths.
Okay, and why did you put them in that order? What order is that?
From least to greatest.
It's from least to greatest, and how did you know to put them in that order?
Well, because the 9, the 0 is holding its spot for tenths, so the 9 could be where the 0 is, but it's not, and that makes this a hundredths. This makes this a tenth because the 8 is in the tenths place, and this is greater than both of them, and it's in the thousandths place. Tenths, hundredths, and thousandths.
Gotcha. So you put them in order of tenths, hundredths, and then thousandths. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So our next task. There you go. So without using your pen on this one, can you look at those numbers and tell me it is 10 and 1/10 and 97 hundredths, is it closer to 1, 2, 11, or 20?
0 and 97 hundredths is closer to... Wait, add it together? Oh. Well, can I add them together first?
Well, I want to see if you can do it in your... I don't necessarily want to see if you can add in your mind, but I want to see if you can kind of look at those numbers and you can sort of estimate what they're closest to if you were to add them together. So if you were to take 10.1, 10 and 1/10, plus 0.97, 97 hundredths, and you were to add them together, what would they be closest to? Would they be closest to 1? If you added them together, closest to 2? Add them together, closest to 11? Or if you were to add them together, closest to 20?
Closer to 11.
Okay, can you circle that for me? And tell me why you chose 11.
I guessed.
You guessed. Go ahead.
I don't actually know, but I would say if I could add them together, it wouldn't be too small or too big.
Okay, how do you know that?
Because from my experience, when my teacher taught me,
Mm-hmm.
when you add the decimals together, the closest to, it's not just adding them up like 7 plus 1 equals 8 and 9 plus 0 equals 9 and then keep the 1. It will be different because it's not just addition, which will be like the biggest number, but the decimal point is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to put the 0 there, the 0.97,
Mm-hmm.
what I usually learn is after the decimal you put it there. So if it's 0, 97, 1, 2, and then 3, then you would get your answer from that.
Okay, and what would your answer be if you did it like that?
It would be
You can use a marker if you want.
8, 9, then 198.
198. Okay. Okay. And tell me again, so you knew that it was 11 because you said it was not too big and not too
Small.
Not too big and not too small.
And I just guessed.
And you just guessed.
I didn't
Okay.
actually know.
Sometimes we have to guess, and that's okay. Okay. So for this next task, I'm going to give you a set of cards, a decimal point, a 0, a 1, a 3, and an 8, okay? And I'm going to read some numbers to you, and using those cards, I want you to show me what that number would look like, okay? And if you don't need to use the card, you can move them off to the side. Make sense? Okay, so first one, show me what 3/10 would look like. 3/10. Okay, and how did you know that?
Oh, you could put the 0 there.
Okay, and how did you know that?
Because after the decimal point, it goes tenths, hundreds, thousandths, and millionths. And since tenth is right after it, you put it there.
Gotcha. Okay, can you show me what 8/100ths would look like? 8/100ths. Okay, can you show me what 38/100ths would look like?
38.
And how did you know that?
Because even though it goes tenths, hundreds, and the hundreds is the 8, you just think it would be 8. But since we're adding the 3 is tenths, so 30, which is 10, and then the regular digit 8, 38 tenths.
Thank you. Okay, try this one for me. 803 thousandths. 803 thousandths. Okay. Try this one for me. 10/10. 10/10.
That'd be 100. I don't know. Because that's still 100, but it would be tenths. Yeah. I think that, I don't know.
What does that one say to you, what you've written there?
0 and 100ths. Or 100.
100. Gotcha. That was a tough one.
Wait. I think. Oh. And 0 and 1. Okay, never mind.
What were you trying to do there? Tell me a little bit about what you were thinking. I know you changed your mind, but I'm just curious.
I thought
Move
that
these to the side. Go ahead and show me again. It's okay if you don't think it's right, but I'm just curious what you were thinking.
I thought that since you said tenths, I thought that even though there's no zero there, I thought it would be like, because it's tenths, but it's in the 10th place, and I would thought it would be like this.
Okay. Do you still think that could be the answer?
Yes.
Yes, and tell me why.
Because I don't know. Because 10 be 1 and 0 tenths. I don't know.
Okay. Try this one for me. 38 tenths.
Oh, wait, I think I know that one. But, okay.
And how did you know to put them like that?
I just guessed because I already tried it with the 1 and the 0.
Mm-hmm.
Because 30, because if you put it on this side, it would be hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put it like this, it wouldn't be right, so you would put it like that.
Show me what you just did before. How you just moved them.
Like this?
Mm-hmm. Put it on the paper for me, yep. And then slide the other cards away. Just so there. Okay. And tell me why that wouldn't be right. I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be right?
Because it would be 3 and 8 tenths, and you said 38 tenths, not 8 tenths, or 3 and 8 tenths.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And if you can pass me those cards, so we're going to move on to the next task. Okay, so on this task, I want you to tell me which number is the arrow pointing to. Which number is the arrow pointing to? And if you can go ahead and write that number for me. You know, I'm going to just trace the arrow too, so you can see it on the camera. There we go.
You wouldn't say that. 6 1/4, or no, it's 1/8 of. Well, this is half, and
Okay, and tell me how you got that.
I think that's wrong because the 8th is that, basically. I guess I was thinking 6 1/4 because half 1/4 and half 1/4 and 3/4. But since you pointed there, I'm not sure.
Gotcha. So you tell me where you think 1/4 would be on that number line. Where would 1/4
For a regular number line, I would think like those two.
Gotcha. And then why did you choose to make it 1/8? And if you can make a line, draw a line right where you said. Gotcha. And then why did you choose 1/8?
Because 1 is like a smaller part of a 1/4.
Okay, so 1/8 is smaller than 1/4. So you chose 1/8 because it looks a little bit less than 1/4. Would you know how to write that as a decimal? If I asked you to write that as a decimal?
Yes. This one?
Or if I just said, see that arrow, and if you were to write the number that it's pointing to as a decimal, what would you write? So you've written it as a mixed number, right? I want you to write it using decimals too.
I forgot how to do this. I haven't done this in a long time. 6. I don't know.
That's okay, because I'm asking you, so you could have studied this a long time ago, right? You had no idea what I was going to ask you questions about, and I'm just curious what you're thinking. So if you forgot, it's totally fine. Thank you. Grab this one. Okay, so if we look at this, what decimal is represented by that shaded region?
3 5/10.
3 5/10. Can you draw that for me? Write that for me? And tell me again, what is that?
3 5/10.
And how did you know that that's how you draw that?
Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 shaded out of 5.
So if a friend was confused and they said, I didn't get that answer.
You could just look at the picture and say, you could count all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you see the shaded part is 3, so 3/5. Unless you're doing the not shaded part, it would be 2/5.
And how would you write 2/5 then? Got you. So those are decimals. How would you write them as fractions? I'm just switching it up a little.
3 5/10.
And how would you, if you were talking about the white space, how would you write that as a fraction? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at these two decimals here. What decimals do you see?
0 and 36 tenths, hundredths, and 0 and 37 hundredths.
Okay, good. Do any decimals lie between those two decimals?
Yes.
Can you name one for me?
Like,
What would be an example of one?
can I put them in fraction form?
Sure, we can put one in fraction form.
There's some equivalent ones, but I can't. 3. You don't know. I don't know.
What are the equivalent ones that you know?
0 and 0.37 thousand.
Show me that.
Put a 0.
And that would be equivalent to what?
This.
And what does equivalent mean?
Equal.
Equal. Can you show me one that would be equivalent to the first decimal? Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so looking at these two problems, which number would give you the bigger answer? That one. Circle that one for me. How did you know?
Because multiply and addition give you a greater value, and divide and subtract give you a number that should be less than.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Multiplication and addition give you bigger, and division and subtraction give you numbers that are less than. You did that one quick. We're almost there. We have 3 more. You're doing a great job. Okay, I'm going to give you some more cards. Start with those two numbers, and you can use your marker. Which number would you say is larger? You can circle the larger number. And how did you know that number was larger?
Because as a whole, for 1 is less than 19, and even though 973 is greater than just 73, the whole number is greater than the 1.
Gotcha. Okay. How about with those two? Which one's larger? And how did you know?
Because 4 is greater than 3.
Because 4 is greater than 3. Okay, you'll pass that one to me. Thank you. Let's look at those two. Which one's larger? You'll circle it for me?
Oops, I need a curve.
That's okay. Okay. Thank you. And let's look at those two. Which one's larger there?
This one.
Go ahead and circle the one that you think. And why did you pick that one?
Because even though this one seems larger than the ones I've been doing by the numbers, I just thought to think that 37 would be less than this because 37 hundredths is actually bigger than the 217,000 because the bigger you go in thousands and millions, I think that it's smaller.
So you think that the thousands and millions are smaller, and you think that the 37 hundredths is
Larger.
Larger. Okay. How about with that right there? With those two numbers, which one's larger? Go ahead and circle it for me. Or you can underline it. I know it's kind of tough. Okay, thank you. How did you know to choose that one?
I don't know. Because last time, like I said, I think that the tens and the hundreds are smaller than the thousands and the millions and all those because I think that they look bigger, but they get smaller.
Which ones look bigger? Those look bigger, but they're actually smaller. And you're saying the one you underline looks small, but it's actually big. Is that what you were saying? Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding. Okay. How about with those two? Which one's larger? Can you underline it for me? And how did you know that one was larger? Not sure? No. Okay.
They're equal.
They're equal. Can you draw the equal sign for me? How'd you know they were equal?
Because even though it looks bigger and this looks smaller, this 0 behind the 0 was right here. This would be bigger, but since the 0 is in front of the 87 and after the decimal, it just makes it equal to this because that 0 doesn't really mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. Okay.
I mean, it means something, but it's not. Yeah.
For this particular problem, I gotcha. Okay. So we just have two more for this task. Which one's larger? If you could underline it for me.
I guess this one.
And how did you know?
Because, no, this one. The 0 is, I don't know. I just guess that.
I'm guessing on this one, so not sure? Okay, that's fine. How about with those two?
They're the same. Equal.
Can you draw that for me? And how'd you know those were the same?
Because 0 and 7/10 is the same as 0 and 70/100. Because 70 is basically like a 10.
Okay. Perfect. So we're done with task 8. 2 more tasks. Okay. So I'm going to give you a set of cards. There are 12 different cards. And I want you to put them in order from smallest to largest. There you go. It's okay if it moves a little. We'll fix it. Okay. So tell me how you knew to put them in that order.
Well, we first start with the whole number,
Mm-hmm.
and since there's 0, we start from 0, 0, 0. Even though there's down there, that's basically 0, and then 0. And then we go to the ones.
Hold on really quick. I like what you're saying, but I just want to make sure I'm capturing this all on camera. Okay, so everything fits. Okay, go ahead.
You start from the zeros, and then the ones. 1, 1, and then to 2, and then 1, and then the 5, because 5 is greater than 2. And then...
Say that again, just a little. I just want to make sure the camera heard you. So you said the ones, and then 5 is...
bigger, because 5 is bigger than 2.
5 is bigger than 2, okay.
1, 7, 70 is equivalent. Those are equivalent. And
Those
then,
are equivalent, okay.
And then 3, even though there's no 1 here. Oh, this kid is 0. I think that's a 0. Oh, that.
Gotcha, so you want to put
That's a
that
0.
there. So that would go after that one?
Yes.
Okay, but before the
1.
1, okay.
And then the 2.
Gotcha.
Because then that's a new whole number.
Okay. And how did you know to put this row in order like this?
Because, well, we start with the 0,
Mhm.
and then 1, 9, 10, 10, and those are equivalent. And then the 3, because even though there's no whole number, this number is greater than 10.
Gotcha. Okay, then we're on our last one. You're doing so good. I appreciate it. Explaining everything that you're thinking.
It's fun.
It's fun. Good. I'm glad to hear. So at this last task, okay, so if you're looking at these numbers here, I want you to tell me which one this is closest to, okay? So of these numbers, which one is this closest to?
15.
And how did you know?
Because, oh no, 17. Unless that's a whole number. Can't tell. Actually, I'd say 15 because I could see the whole number.
So you can see that this is a whole number? Okay.
15 is close to 18 because this is a whole number which is bigger. This is a whole number which is bigger.
Cross those out for me. So that's a whole number, it's bigger. That's a whole number, it's bigger. Okay.
These have the same whole number, but it's less than. And this has the same number, but it's bigger, so it's closer to 18.
Gotcha. So you said these are less than, and you said this is less than, but this one's
It's still closer.
closer. So you choose that one. Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you very, very, very much, Niera. I appreciated working with you, and all your thoughts are going to be very helpful to me as I write my paper and kind of think about how students think about decimals and comparing them. So I appreciate it. Okay. You want to say hi to the camera?
Hello.
Hi. Hello.